All right, and we're live, and I'm here with, well, I'm not here with my frequent sidekick, Artistic Layman. He had to bail for a little bit, but I am here with NC Clark.
Hi, how is everyone doing?
And yeah, so um I guess first, let's talk about the Sonic trailer, shall we?
Mm, if
Um
we have to, yeah, sure.
Gotta go fast in a gangster's paradise. So we were bullshitting just before the show, and I'm like, I guess like I used to say like, oh, I'm a fan of Sonic, but the more I step back, the more I realize like I'm a fan of two aspects of this franchise that are basically the minority of it at this point. Like I like the Princess Sally cartoon and the comic that was based off of it, and I like the old Genesis era games. Like I think Sonic 3 and Knuckles is one of the best games ever made. And I like Mania because that's just sort of a remix of those games. But then I look at like everything else about the franchise and I'm like, what a fucking mess. What a fucking mess. So like I heard a lot of people be like, oh, Sonic deserves better than this movie. But I'm sort of like at this point, like, but does he though? Because at this point, I'm kind of like, because it's that same stupid generic plot that modern movies insist on doing. Like, hey, wouldn't it be weird if blank cartoon character was in the real world and he had to react to all these real world things he didn't understand? And because he's a stylized cartoon character, he would look really fucking weird in reality.
And
Wouldn't
he
that be
had to
weird?
save it. He had to save the planet from us because global warming and shit.
Yeah, that's
It's
pretty much.
basically it's Smurfs. They did that with Smurfs. They did that with hell. I could go back in the day when they did that with He-Man, where it's like let's make a He-Man movie, but we're not going to make some big movie about this, you know, fantasy sci-fi world of Eternia. No, He-Man just falls in a dimensional portal and ends up in New York because that's easier. And there it is. It's like Sonic goes to the normal world and he hangs out with fucking uh, Officer
Wait, you
Chris.
mean wait, hold up. You mean Hercules in New York, right?
No, there was a He-Man movie. There was a Masters of the Universe movie. You didn't know this?
No.
There was a Masters of the Universe movie starring Dolph Lundgren, and the plot is like, God, it was so long ago. I can't remember who goes to Earth first, but like I think it's like Skeletor goes to Earth, and he's gonna like attack Earth because they don't have all the crazy magic tech like Eternia does, so they'd be helpless. So then He-Man has to follow him to Earth, and He-Man has all these wacky antics on Earth because it's different and he doesn't understand it. So basically, the whole thing is just Dolph Lundgren dressed as He-Man, and some guy was playing Skeletor, and they're battling in New York for some reason because that's easier to film. You know, because an actual He-Man movie, you can make that into a big old epic movie, but you'd have to put fucking effort into it. Um, so yeah, that's Sonic. Sonic falls through a dimensional portal, I guess, and he hangs out with Officer Christian of the because he tries to give him a speeding ticket or something because he's fast. and and also apparently Sonic has the Speed Force. He's apparently Barry Allen because there's just blue fucking lightning shooting out of him all the time.
What the fuck?
Like in the trailer, it says he created an energy wave that knocked out power to the whole West Coast, and it's like no wonder the military's after him. It's pretty reasonable to assume this creature's a threat at that point. I fail to see how the military are the bad guys in this.
I don't understand. Who is this movie for? Who is this for again? Who's going to see this movie?
I don't know. I'm not going to go see it.
I know the only thing I know about Sonic, like my first interaction with Sonic was seeing a kid in the playground run with his arms behind his back, just running. And I'm like, well, why are you running like that? Sonic! I'm running like Sonic. And that's when you knew they have autism. That's when you know. That's the only time I was like, okay. Like, I'm kind of familiar with the cartoon. I'm not, a big
Well, they
Sonic.
did a bunch of cartoons, and basically all of them have sucked except that one. Like there was another cartoon at that same time, which was really confusing for kids, which was this weird fucking acid trip of a cartoon where I don't even begin to describe how insane that cartoon was. And then there was like years later, there was something called Sonic Underground where he's in like a band with a bunch of deviant art recolors. And then there was Sonic X, which had really gorgeous animation, but was just incredibly stupid. Come to think of it, Sonic X, I think, was the first time it was that Like the plot of Sonic X, I think, was like Sonic ends up in the normal people world somehow.
Yes, I've seen that.
So
Yeah.
I guess that's what this movie is. Yeah, the art and animation in that was gorgeous, but it was an absolute shit fucking cartoon. Like I said, basically, I'm. There are like two aspects of this franchise I really, really love: the old cartridge era games, and they call it the Sat AM cartoon, the one with Princess Sally. Everything else about it, I look at it's like it's either okay at best or it's just absolute shit. I mean, half the Sonic games they make are like buggy and broken to the point of basically being unfinished. There's no perfect distinction between the parts of Sonic I like and the parts I don't. Then last year, or maybe it was 2 years ago now, when Mania came out and Sonic Forces came out at the same time. On the one hand, you have a great remix of a bunch of classic 2D platforming levels. And on the other hand, you have a game with a autistic, grimdark storyline, buggy 3D physics, and a DeviantArt recolor that you can make yourself. You can make Cold Steel the Hedgehog to hang out with Sonic. Oh, that trailer looks so fucking bad, though.
I saw it, and the first thing you notice right away is the music.
Gangster's
That's what
Paradise.
I noticed. And I'm like, well, where the fuck is Crush 40 when you need them? They have all this music.
When I first heard it,
and they don't use it in the trailer. They don't use anything. They just say, fuck it, we're going to go Gangster's Paradise.
I mean, the music in the original games is some of the most renowned classic video game music on a system that isn't even known for good sound. You know? I mean, shit, the soundtrack to like Sonic 2 and Sonic 3 are amazing. You know, you could have remixed something like that in the background. No, you got Gangster's Paradise. And at first, when I'm hearing it, I thought they were just going to play like the beat to Gangster's Paradise without any of the lyrics. But then sure enough, later in the trailer, it's like fucking living in a gangster's paradise. You know, power. I couldn't believe it. I couldn't. Gangster's Paradise in a fucking Sonic movie. $2, or I'm sorry, £2 super chat from Cowardly Dog says, Tails, what are you doing to those babies, Sonic? Oh man. And you know, I have to admit, like Jim Carrey's performance in that trailer looked kind of good. Looked entertaining, I should say. If there's anything entertaining about it, it would be that. But he doesn't even look like Dr. Robotnik until like the end, which I guess is a post-credit scene where he's bald and has a big goofy mustache. But no, he looks like, remember in that Me, Myself, and Irene movie when Jim Carrey's character would go into the bad personality? He looks like that. Like, that's all that it is. It's just... fucking Gangster's Paradise Sonic coming to save the day. Oh, Lord. We're going to throw Coolio's one song in there. That's appropriate. That's appropriate for this fucking...
Is it a kid's movie? Who is this for? Who is this for? I don't know. Is this for Bechtloff? Is this for you? Is this what they're presenting for you?
I don't know. It's not for me. I can tell you that much.
It's not for me. I know it's not for me. I'm not that autistic, so it's.
You know, if they were doing like an animated Sonic movie and it had all the Princess Sally and Bunny the rabbit characters in it from the old cartoon, yeah, I'll be there for that shit opening day. That sounds great. Hopefully I'm not going to sit next to the guy with the diaper fetish, but I'll be there for that opening day. As I've learned, don't search Princess Sally on DeviantArt unless you got safe search on. But no, I'm not gonna go see this. Really?
I can't pay you to go see this.
How
much you want?
$50.
Okay, you heard it here, folks.
I would need $50 to watch that movie.
$50. All right.
So yeah, the week it comes out, y'all want to send me $50 to go fucking see that movie.
You're a cheap whore.
You got to pay for my time. You got to pay for my time and the ticket. Let me scratch that. $50 plus the ticket.
Oh, fuck you! No, you can't go back now.
$50 plus
Damn
the
it.
ticket.
Damn it! Oh, somebody asked my thoughts on Gen Z. I'm surprised they're not aborted. I'm surprised we have a Gen Z.
Gen Z. Oh, we have a thinned out one.
Yeah. I'm just surprised. They're okay, I guess. They still are kind of depressed. They make weird memes about killing themselves and then not doing it. I'm kind of disappointed about that.
Speaking of memes, I've infiltrated some leftist meme groups on like Facebook and shit like that, just for the hell of it. And I can confirm that the left still can't meme. But I am also shocked at how much and they're just recycling rightist memes, but how much they absolutely the hardcore leftists hate like Hillary Clinton and Joe Biden and stuff. Like Joe Biden thinks he's gonna run. That's a fucking joke.
He is running. Nowhere. He is running right now.
Yeah, he's going nowhere. That's not gonna I mean, he might get the nomination, but he'd get slaughtered in general. Bernie's the only one they have that could put up a fight against Trump, and they're not going to give it to him. They're not going to let him have it. If necessary, they'll steal it from him, and Bernie will just roll over and take it. I want to play a little Biden clip because it's fucking hilarious to me. This is Joe Biden. Hang on a second. Let's hear Joe Biden give us something.
And so the younger generation now tells me how tough things are. Give me a break. No. I have no empathy for it.
There you go. There's no empathy. Fucking boomer Biden. Yeah, our generation wrecked everything, but I have no empathy for you. But anyways, I was saying an example of how much the left can't meme. Somebody in one of those groups shared a picture of Sam Hyde and said it was Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez's boyfriend. And everyone believed it because they didn't know who Sam Hyde was. There was one commenter who was like, he can't keep getting away with it. Oh. So, let's see. What else did I want to cover this week? Oh, we got Laura Loomer. Let's see. Let's listen to Laura Loomer lose her shit. She was on Alex Jones. Let's see. I'll just start playing around here.
Aiding and abetting this. What do you think, Laura?
Yeah. Well, I wish that he would do something. Like I said, I confronted Congress, and when Jack Dorsey was testifying in September, and I begged President Trump, I begged him to do something before it was too late. And that was...
She's talking about all the online censorship and all, by the way.
When I don't have access to my Twitter account, right? But I was mocked. Right? Look at that asshole, Billy Long in Congress, who decided to do an auction call over
It's
mocked me and called me crazy, but what are they doing? I want to know what people are actually going to do. My life is ruined. Does anybody understand how ruined my life is? I'm sick of it. I don't want to listen to people tell me that I'm a conspiracy theorist. They don't know what it's like to be me. Life is ruined, Alex.
No, I understand. I just think you need to go with it. And, I understand I've been through this myself. But realize these are wars. These are hard. And I know your frustration, Laura. You wouldn't feel bad if more men were standing up. Drudge Report.
I love that Alex Jones is just sort of like, yeah, get on my level, bitch. Oh, good old Laura Loomer. Losing her shit yet again. It's like, yeah, I know you got thrown off Facebook and that's not fair and it pisses you off, but I mean, is your tire okay? Let's see. What else we got?
No, you have to pay for my tire. Everybody in the chat, my life is ruined.
Yeah, that was fantastic. I love it. I absolutely... Okay. Here's the thing about this, folks. If your face and your name is out there, evil people, especially if you're going against evil people, because the people that she's going against, let's be fair, a lot of them are evil. They're going to do everything in their power to see that you're broke, that your children are corrupted. What does Sam Hyde say about that?
Yeah, they want you broke, your
want
children
you
corrupted, your daughter's raped, and they think it's funny.
And they think it's funny, and that's a fact.
And why wouldn't they?
Exactly.
Because from their perspective, you're some evil bigot, Nazi, whatever, and whatever they do against you is justified. Do you think you'd sit here and shed a tear if fucking, I don't know, Movie Bob or something got his life completely destroyed? Or would we be sitting here laughing our ass off about it? I know what I'd be doing.
The issue is she wants people to pay for her lawsuit against Facebook or whoever else she thinks is blocking her, banning her from wherever. Does she not have a cousin? Does she not have a Jewish cousin that's a lawyer that could swoop in and help her out?
Yeah, there's got to be some sort of, that's the
like
thing.
pro bono. Like where's?
There's got to be some pro bono lawyer. No, what she wants is she wants to rent seek. Okay, she wants to. I'm sorry. Let's be real. She wants to fucking cause a big old stink and have everybody pay her fucking way. Oh, woe is me. Fucking Facebook threw me off. Everybody throw money at me.
The chat saying she's still not wrong. You're right. She's still not wrong. Her life is being ruined. I don't think she's handling it with much grace, if that makes any sense. Like, I don't see a lot of, maybe it's just, shit hitting the fan, and now her name's even more out there, and they banned her off Facebook, banned her off Twitter. She feels as though she has no voice. She actually went to Facebook headquarters and put up a stink there.
Yeah, she feels as if she has no voice. Oh, big fucking deal. She got to be on Alex Jones, didn't she? She got to be on InfoWars. Alex Jones wasn't going to interview my ass when I got thrown off Twitter.
There's no YouTube channel of Alex Jones anymore. Alex Jones, you can only watch it from the app and Infowars.com.
He's still doing okay, though. He still reaches a number of fucking people. Trust me. Yeah. I'd be pretty happy to be working for Alex Jones.
I would too, but it's not going to be easy for you. That's what I'm saying.
I'm just saying. Easy. Like I said, though, she's just out there to fucking rent seek. She's always been just out there to fucking rent seek. All right. It's the Gamergate all over again shit where everybody, I need a fucking wheelchair. So this movement that's about fucking holding video game journalists accountable should crowdfund my fucking wheelchair or some shit like that, or a satellite or whatever. Dumb
satellite. Shit. We're gonna put ants in the satellite. I heard that shit. I was shocked. And again, like, something has to be different. Like, what has changed from now than before with Laura Loomer? I don't really see. I already thought she was banned off Facebook, to be honest with you. But now she's saying they're defaming her. That she's saying that they're calling her dangerous, and thus she can't get a job. She doesn't have a regular life. She doesn't, she needs to explain it more instead of just, She
has a YouTube channel with 261 subscribers.
Her YouTube hasn't been taken down.
I don't know if this is I think it was monetized because I think I saw a fucking ad before I turned this on.
I don't know.
If it's monetized, I bet you she could super chat, make decent money. If she's got a Patreon, I bet you she's making decent money. She's a chick on the right, quote unquote, on the right. So, there's no shortage of idiots, thirsty idiots that are going to throw money at her. She's fucking fine.
She doesn't have a PayPal. How could she she doesn't have a PayPal.
She doesn't have a PayPal. That's right.
Or a Patreon. They're not going to allow, if they're not going to allow Lauren Southern on, they're not going to allow her on. They're not. So in essence, I can't agree with her. A good portion of her money has been it's gone. A good portion of her income, the way she gets money, is just gone. So,
well, like I said, I'd be willing to chip in if I thought this was actually going to a lawsuit against Facebook, but I just don't believe in her. Like, any amount of money that you would donate to this woman to try and help out,
and that's my point.
It's gonna get pissed away. It's gonna get wasted. Whatever. I don't trust this bitch. I never have. And And yeah, none of this should be happening to her. This shouldn't be the way things are, but it is. You know, you going up against these kind of people, you're going to expect that after a while they're going to do something about it. Why wouldn't they?
I remember when she went against the Shakespeare in the park with Trump being Caesar and everybody stabbing him in the back. I remember when she interrupted that, and I just thought, you know, there's a time and a place. Yeah. There's a time and a place, girl. You don't need to do this here. Why aren't you focusing this energy in somewhere else? No, it's because everything she's done is so that she can focus the light on herself and what's going on in the background. You ever see that meme where it's like how women take pictures and it's themselves and whatever's going on in the background?
Well, the one time she fucking handcuffed herself to Twitter headquarters when they threw her off Twitter, and she was dressed like the fucking puppet that Jigsaw uses in the small movies. I mean, she's a fucking clown. I you know, I'm not sad.
Why is our side supposed to have all this decorum? The problem is that our side, well, I don't even understand if she's our side. I'll put it that way. I don't really know this woman to the extent that I could say that she's on our side, whatever side that would be the conservative side. Is she a neocon? What is she? I have no clue.
I think she leans a bit more towards neocon.
So I honestly, after the tire incident, I don't necessarily trust her. I'll put it that way. And for her to go to that place and just do that, knowing, well, I don't think she really knew. I think it was just self-aggrandizing. She likes to do a lot of that stuff where she goes somewhere, she causes a ruckus, she causes a scene and leaves. She doesn't record the news. She tries to be the news.
Well, yeah. And why does our side have to have the decorum? Because we're not the side in power. Okay. So we have to be more careful. We have to be smarter about things. Is that fair? Fuck no.
No,
but I don't know who told you life was going to be.
What was that man at Charlottesville who did the dumbest shit I've ever seen? This is so stupid. Don't ever do this. He was there in Charlottesville. He was riding along with Vice, the news site. Who was that person?
I don't know, but right away, I mean, talking to Vice. Yeah, that's a good plan.
He's riding along with Vice while he's talking about white power stuff and just riding along with them. And I'm just sitting there going, why are you doing this to yourself? You know for a fact Vice is going to take everything you say, no matter if it's good, bad, whatever, it's going to be out of context. And you're there and you're sitting there and you're allowing them to just ride along with you. Chris Cantwell, thank you, chat. Chris Cantwell.
There we go, Cantwell.
And I was just like,
I wasn't sure that was him or not. Everybody was doing so much stupid shit in Charlottesville. I wasn't even sure what you're talking about.
It was astonishing to see somebody do that, knowing what the media has been up to for years now.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I can't even defend Cantwell anymore. I can't. I used to. I liked Cantwell. On a personal level, I still do. I wish he'd get his shit together. But, just recently, Cantwell tried to rat out some rival podcast to Jarrett Holt.
Yeah, I remember that.
And he fucking admitted, like, yeah, I did that. Like, oh.
Because they were competition. Because they were Yep. We saw David Sherrod after all the shit that the UK media did to him years back, where they said he was essentially an incel. He was a man who didn't want to have a girlfriend. He didn't want to be committed to anybody. It was MGTOW, and that was weird and icky, and he shouldn't be like that. Years later, he talks to the same media people about the alt-right and how the internet influenced him to become radical.
Well, wasn't that the guy that was the guy that was like thirsting after Laura Loomer? What? Not Laura Loomer, Lauren Southern.
Yep.
Oh. Like, yeah. Why do we have to be held to a higher standard? Because we just fucking are.
The man tried to get the internet to give him $10K, and they did for a
For a
what
fake.
should I call
Let's be
it?
real.
A internet bride or whatever, a mail order bride, e-order bride. Because I know his plan. His plan was to have her go to his house because he was still living with his parents and live where? In his basement with his mom in their house and marry her because that's the only way she could stay in the country, right?
I
He didn't have a job.
I don't know what the fuck. Did you ever see the picture of that guy's room where it looks like a fucking 13-year-old's like messy, shitty room? And just piles of clothes everywhere. It's just, oh God, fucking shit rat. Somebody says, why hold any standards? Life is not fair. Who is entitled to standards? Because we can't get away with the other shit. That's what it boils down to. Okay? You want to be like, well, all's fair against... And I mean, to a certain extent, I agree with you, but the question is, what can we get away with? You know? So, I mean, that's why... that's why there has to be... I mean, look at how much the dissident right, let's just use the broad term, has just shot itself in the foot the last couple of years. You know, the far left, they got busy. You know, they fucking went to work. And, you know, Chunk Yu-Gi-Oh turned an Applebee's waitress into his fucking personal puppet. Now she's the most recognizable face in the House of Representatives.
But you can't put together IKEA furniture.
Well, yeah, I mean... she's a special one. But you tell me the far right couldn't have done something similar. I know the deck was more stacked against them, but when did they even try? The only far right candidate I remember trying, what was his name, like Little or something? The guy who ended up doxing Ricky Vaughn.
Yes, I remember.
Yeah, that was our attempt at it. Oh, good game, guys.
That was sad.
The big brown buffalo himself, Chunk Yu-Gi-Oh, managed to outwit everyone in the dissident right. Here's your black pill for the day. Oh, dude, that fucking video where she's like white, where AOC is like white girl drunk, going on about global warming while she's putting together IKEA furniture.
The world's gonna end in 12 years. You guys don't do anything. I do everything. It's she makes me think, well, can I run? I mean, how many times have I said nigger? Can they hold that against me? Is that
if you go ahead and delete your channel, maybe before you get like any inkling of it, maybe. 12 years. Yeah.
12 years. You know, this whole chat has been really down lately with the black pill, but you know, the world's gonna end in 12 years anyway. So
and yet your grandkids are gonna be mad you didn't do anything.
They're going to be butthurt. Every single one of your grandkids is going to be butthurt because we didn't stop the Sonic movie. We didn't stop the Sonic movie. It's just so fucking stupid.
Well, in all fairness, I think future generations should hold us accountable for that.
I really do sit there and I'm like, wow, this one was so dumb. I could run for Congress. And then I count how many times I said nigger and I'm just like, oh no. Oh no.
yeah, but you're not white, so you can get away with it.
I don't know about that one. I could be white passing.
We're gonna have to get you like really. We're gonna get you some spray tan.
Oh God.
just work on that. Just work on that Latinx accent.
Okay. Here's the weird part about it. There was a news story and she was trying to speak slang. She went to a black church and
oh God,
what she ended up doing was to just speak slang. And I was sitting there going, that is the worst slang I've ever heard. That's how you know she's not actually from the Bronx or Brooklyn or wherever the hell she was talking. She's not from there.
Oh, she is the whitest fucking Latino girl I've ever fucking seen.
She sounds like this all the time. She really does. She doesn't even sound Latina.
Honestly, you could have told me that chick was Italian or something like that. I'd have bought it. You could have told me that. Like, depending on how the light hits her, you could have told me that was a white girl.
No, you're not getting away with that, white man. Italians are black. Italians are black. None of y'all can.
Well, I heard Sicilians were spawned by blacks.
That's right.
I saw it in a movie. It must be true.
And Henry VIII was black. All y'all white. Shakespeare, William Shakespeare. Shakespeare. Black.
Shakespeare.
Shakespeare. It's black.
Who the fuck's playing that? What the hell are you playing, Luke? Luke is broadcasting from Silent Hill, apparently. What the fuck is going on? Oh. NC Clark in the chat, kill me now. Somebody in the chat, does that mean I have an N-word pass because I'm half Italian? Hey, it's a free country.
Just don't run for office.
Ever. Ever.
Oh, the reams and reams of fucking audio of me saying obnoxious shit, I could never do it. Oh,
And
dude, they
you
take,
went on a rant about faggotry and faggots.
they take so many out of context quotes, like shit that I don't even believe. You know, they'd be like me quoting somebody else, and they'd just be like Bechtloff's and furry or something. Some of Bulbasaur. Oh, dude, I
Have you seen his Discord? It has not safe for work in it. Have you seen it?
Speaking of out of context quotes, Sargon of Akkad is defending his past or not defending, but ignoring his past statements.
Can I just say, Sargon of Akkad's, quote about like white niggers, he was right. That's pretty all right. I'm just throwing that out there. I'm just like, yeah. I mean, like I understand what he was trying to say. You're acting the way you argue that black people act. Okay, fine. Now he said it.
You're acting really... like a bunch of niggers.
Exactly. Harsh words, but fair. Who'd have thought he'd be having his redemption arc while most of the alt-right figures that shit on him have collapsed?
So is he defending his statements? Is he ignoring his statements?
He's actually being kind of, the little bits I've seen, he's kind of being like sort of gangster with the press. Like every time they try to go into it, he just goes into how they're all a bunch of vultures and they should eat shit.
Well,
like,
I will say this. I don't think he's going to be saying that again. And I think that's why it's kind of, I'm not going to say he's disingenuous. I'm just going to say he's never going to say that again. So him defending it is kind of odd.
But that's the thing. He's not even really defending it. Like, at least the clips I've seen, every time like they try to corner him about it, he just goes off about how the media are a bunch of vultures and like the media are such shitbags. I don't even have to answer to you. I'm running just to point out what scumbags you are and all this other stuff. Like he just goes fucking gangster.
UKIP candidate Carl Benjamin says he might rape Labour MP Jess Phillips in new YouTube video.
And he's probably raking into fucking like ducats. I mean, I think he still has his Patreon, doesn't he?
No, I don't think he does.
I thought he still had it.
Does he have it? I don't know if your chat would know.
Here's what he said. Benjamin, who previously attacked for the tweet, suggested he wouldn't even rape the Brigham Young Yardley MP in 2016, has now posted a new video suggesting that, quote, with enough pressure, I might cave.
Okay, so he's not on Patreon, but he's on a few other crowdfunders. It looks like we got like Graphtreon, and which he's making $11,000 a month off of it, so he's doing fine.
Here's two quotes. There's been an awful lot of talk about whether I would or wouldn't rape Jess Phillips. I have been in trouble for my hardline stances. of not even even raping her. I suppose with enough pressure I might cave, but let's be honest, nobody's got that much beer.
Oh, that's gangster.
Oh, I have to see what this person looks like.
I've reassessed and decided I would indeed rape her. Like, fuck yeah. Good for you, man. Good. I'm glad to see he's come around on that issue.
There she is.
Oh no.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to pass on that.
Oh no, that's a lousy shot. Here's a better shot. Come on, YouTube, let me have a picture. Here we go.
Ugh. That looks like she should be in GameStop, fucking telling people it's ma'am.
Oh my god.
Sonic's arms aren't blue, damn it. I want my Fallout 76 refund.
Yeah, it's typical feminist physique too.
Sargon may be doing well. The party sure isn't, though.
She has the physique of a middle-aged dad.
Yeah.
But
She's got. How do you as a woman have dad bod? How do you even do that?
But UKIP is not doing so well.
No, they're not. In
Well, yeah.
comparison to all other parties.
Well, Lord knows Sargon kills everything he touches. What was it? Nigel Farage left shortly after Sargon joining. Oh, they'll just let anybody in now, and he left.
And I think he made his own party, and they're doing decent. I'm not going to say they're doing great.
Nigel took over the liberalists. Oh. It's ma'am. Yes, indeed it is, chat. It is indeed ma'am. So
voters feeling just embarrassed. Experts start feeling like prisoners, helpless. Someone come along on a mission, yell Brexit the vision.
So we got a little news clip NC Clark sent us here. It's Racist Anonymous. So we're going to see what fresh hell NC has in store for us. So there you go, Luke. I just threw it in the chat.
Let's see, where's our chat now?
Oh, you're on your phone, aren't you? You can see it?
Oh no, I'm on my computer. I just got back. Okay. Hopefully I can get this picture going.
So yeah, we got a little video we're going to watch. A little news clip. We're going to watch Racist. How does this only has 34 views? What the Where did you even find this?
A friend of mine made it.
Oh, it's not real?
It's real, yeah.
Okay.
In Sunnyvale.
Let's see if I can get this picture going here.
He clips it from Real News and posts it up there on that channel.
Okay. Let's see. Here we go. Racist Anonymous. Let's see what this is all about.
Tonight, a pastor working to combat racism by treating it like an addiction. Reporter John Blackstone takes us inside the program that is turning heads tonight.
I'm Morgan, and I'm a racist.
Something that is usually unspeakable.
I'm Bonnie, and I'm a racist.
Is a conversation starter at a meeting of Racists Anonymous.
I'm Daryl, and I'm a racist.
Participants in the multiracial group try.
Wow, everyone's admitting to it now.
I don't even know what to say to this. This is such cringe. Keep going.
To become more aware of their own biases.
That means that if an Arabic person gets on a plane and I automatically think terrorist.
Their goal is to abolish racism from their communities.
I mean, let's be real. It's just, that's just called your survival instinct.
By first eliminating it from themselves.
Often we don't even realize we're being racist.
Pastor Ron Buford started the weekly meetings last November at his congregational church in Sunnyvale, California, after watching town after town get eaten up by hate and violence, so often born out of prejudice.
Black Lives Matter has made a wonderful impact in.
Of course. Of course.
That's a good one there, Pastor. Oh, Lord. Oh. Keep going.
So many ways. But this is a different approach.
Focused on the individual.
That's right. Instead of talking about other people's racism, to say, it's me.
Morgan has been a participant since the beginning.
I hadn't considered myself a racist coming here, but
then my
once we
daughter
got
brought
into
home
these
Tyrone.
discussions,
Then my daughter brought home Tyrone, and I was having none of it.
it started me thinking maybe there is a little bit of racism in everybody, and that I was one of them.
Let's have the group hug here. Come on, come on.
In a nation.
Everyone's
Well,
a little
there
bit
we
racist, I guess.
All right. Well, the problem solved. Thank you, Pastor.
Searching for answers.
We can all move on now.
It's a small step, but a step in the right direction. John Black, CBS News.
A Jew hugging a black man and a white woman.
No, dude, keep it on there for a second. You ever see that fucking like what's that one guy that draws all the racist cartoons where like the Jew like porn producer is trying to push the white girl into the black guy? Like it looks like they're reenacting that fucking pose.
Let's see. I gotta find. I need to find the image. Where is it? Where is it?
I don't even know what the name of that guy.
I don't really want this stream to be taken down, huh? Really want this stream? Okay, cool. I'm up for it. Do that. Let's play the New Zealand
Look,
shooting.
I didn't say I condone that comic, obviously.
Go all in.
Unfortunately, the only thing in anti-Semitism right now is the Trump picture right now.
What Trump picture?
Oh, you know, with him and being led around by Benjamin Netanyahu.
Oh, that's sexy.
Oy vey. I disavow. It's our greatest ally, don't you know?
I found it.
Of course you did. Luke, you're a fucking ninja with that shit.
Here it is.
That's exactly what I was thinking of when
Oh, wait. Let me get side to side comparison. Oh no!
See why I thought of it?
Oh no!
No. I disavow. I disavow.
Well, it was nice having me on. Nice being here. I always like being here.
Now they're getting shut down. Fucking YouTube gonna shut me down right now. What? Hey, this was your video. You sent it to us.
I did no such thing.
I did no such thing. Okay.
Of course, this image is being posted on the Daily Stormer, and of course, I don't credit the artist.
I don't know who that artist is either, but I've seen a bunch of it. I'm pretty sure he used to do stuff in like the 80s and 90s, but I see his shit pop up all over the internet. Like, I don't even think that's the original caption. I think that they changed it. I disavow, of course. This is so it says this stream's gonna be struck to shit, isn't it? I don't know. Maybe I'll private it after the fact just to be safe. Who knows? Oh, what the hell else was even going on this week? It's just been a bunch of slow news weeks, man. I gotta say.
God, I hope no Antifa or.
Oops.
What the hell was that? Was the gayest sounding dude ever? What the hell was you playing there?
God, I hope no Antifa or Nazis show up. I almost hate the Nazis more than I hate the commies. Fucking anti-Semitic assholes. Shut the fuck up. You're supposed to...
Lordy. What the hell else? Good Lord, I'm like out of fucking time. All right, you know what? We're going to bring in callers because I'm out of fucking shit to talk about. Damn it.
You could have talked about Laura Luma and fund her campaign so that she can sue all these horrible people.
Yeah, we got to talk about Laura Loomer's tires some more. So I'm going to bring in some callers. We got British James wants to call in. Anybody else wants to call in, message me on the Skype there, as Cantwell likes to say. And on the Skype there.
Yeah, I think I found the original, but I'm not sure if I can read it.
Oh, he did. Good Lord, how do you find this shit, man?
Persistence. Ugh. It's all on the internet. You gotta find it somewhere.
NASA ain't taught me to read all that. I ain't reading all that.
Let's see. What does Paul have to say about the? Oh no, it's just a site image. No one can tell me where it's from.
Oh lordy.
That'd be funny if a Jew drew it.
Of course.
Just to show his plan.
Well, I mean, the alt-right is basically run by Jews. I mean, every one of them, when they get doxxed, turns out. Yeah,
so in color for them.
Hey, there's British James. He's got,
good evening.
He's got his streaming license. So he's able to,
Yeah, I just want to say, Avengers Endgame, I could not believe that Darth Vader was Luke's father. I did not see that fucking thing coming.
Yeah, so I'm going to see that tomorrow because I was going to go with my dad because he wants to see it. And literally the only time I could find in the 2 theaters in my area, like 2 seats that weren't taken, that were next to each other, that weren't in the first fucking row, were an afternoon showing tomorrow. So
wait, don't you book online for this? Because
but like it doesn't matter. I swear you could do like a week ahead of time, and like all the seats are fucking taken. It happens all the time. I think there's like, I think there's some like people that have to have subscription fees to Fandango to get those back seats or something. I don't know how the fuck it works anymore.
Yeah. Well, no, yeah, that's the problem because when I started, I mean, my dad has a card for this. Basically, he's had it for like 20 years. Those, I don't know if you guys have them when you can pay monthly and see as many films as you want.
That's probably why like big chunk. Because I've been to shows where it says like all these seats are taken, and then I go there and there's like nobody sitting there, like in whole rows. So,
well, that's usually the back seats, but they're like a premium. I mean, again, I can't really say about American cinemas, but I know there's only one cinema I've been to last year which doesn't have arranged seating. I think it was up Shaftesbury Avenue in Central, but I went down as like seat X. I'm like, is this like a golden ticket? I can sit anywhere. And the guy just looks at me. It's like, yeah, we don't have that arranged seating shit.
Yeah, I can't stand that shit. And both the theaters in my area have gone to that. That's why I'm mostly NC Clark in the chat says help him on a stream with racists, and now they're talking about Jewish media. Oy vey, NC. Speaking of which, somebody in the chat asked about Free Comic Book Day. Yeah, it was Free Comic Book Day at the comic store. There was like an Avengers one shot, a Spider-Man one shot, and a Turtles one shot that I grabbed. Not a lot that really caught my eye, but that's because a lot of comics suck these days. I am amazed these last few years how fucking busy Free Comic Book Day is.
Well, I suppose, I mean, wouldn't this be a good opportunity for comic book stores to get rid of all the shit comics that they aren't selling?
We used to do that at when I ran that flea market with a buddy of mine. We actually put together like Free Comic Book Day stuff out of the dollar bin, or it'd be just like a bunch of like 90s Superman or X-Force titles or shit like that we had. Like it wasn't even like awful. Like we'd put some of the like really shitty Image and all stuff in there, but it was just a lot of stuff that got heavy printings that we had just tons of. Like, oh yeah, it's Free Comic Book Day. Here's X-Force number 1 from 1990. Enjoy if you can.
Yeah, because who exactly is Free Comic Book Day for? Is it? I mean, if people that want to buy comics aren't really going to be the types that need to buy free comics, so I mean, is it like a way of introducing?
It's a good
people who don't read
outreach.
comics?
Yeah, it's a good outreach meant for kids and you know, guys that are kind of like adults that have fallen out of it for a while. And in theory, a lot of times they'll like if they're doing a big like event storyline or a big storyline in one of the comics, they'll do like a little sort of now it's a word I'm looking for, like prologue to it in one of those books where it's like, you know, designed to be like, oh, you know, here's a free Avengers book, and it's like, you know, leading into some big multi-part Avengers, you know, in the hopes that like, you know, you'll pick up that comic then. Or what like DC used to do a bunch of for a few years. They did like they would take like some of the storylines that have reprinted in graphic novels. And they put like the first issue worth of it. Like they put like the first issue of the one Superman Batman series they were doing. And then at the end of it, you know, they just print under it, like to be, you know, for the rest of this by the, you know, Superman Batman Public Enemies trade paperback. So stuff like that. It can be a really good way. You know, it's been effective over the years. I mean, it really has. It started in like, I want to say like 01 or 02.
Mm.
And it's really picked up over the years.
Yeah, it's a shame it falls on May the 4th.
Well, this
or as
year
we
it
call it,
does.
Star Wars Cut Day.
This year it does. It's the first Saturday in May. So this year it happened to. Yeah. Yeah. May the 4th be with you. Star Wars Day. The holiday for a dying franchise.
Yeah, guys, don't get too excited.
Oh, Lordy.
Well, it kind of makes me think, is this going to be the turnabout year where most of, I was going to say Marvel, but just Disney's media just seems to collapse in on itself? Because, I know we've obviously spoken this as the end of basically the relevant Marvel stuff. The Endgame is basically the last film that you kind of need to see. Because I've seen, is it the Phase 4 or Phase 5? I don't really know or should need to care about what these phases are fucking called, but the post-Avengers Endgame films. And I'm being honest, like, none of them actually got me excited. Okay, I got Black
this is
Panther
probably
2.
the last of the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's probably the end of it really being good and strong stuff. There'll probably be a few films here and there worth watching, but it's definitely the end of, needing to see it kind of shit. And yeah, obviously Star Wars has been run into the fucking gutter. Who knows?
Well, I'm worried that Disney owns 20th Century Fox now, because that gives them a lot of IPs, which I do hold dearly.
So here's something I discovered: the Orville has not been over on Fox. Seth MacFarlane's Star Trek show. Basically, it's not been renewed yet for season 3, despite the fact that while it did see a bit of a dip in season 2, it's been performing strong enough to get renewed. And a lot of people are speculating that's because Seth MacFarlane fucking hates Disney, and the feeling is extremely mutual. So while people suspect that the show will be renewed, they think that Disney is just jerking Seth around for the fun of it.
I'm not sure. There's actually a very good, I was looking at a good correlation I've noticed with TV shows and actual DVD releases, and it's not necessarily whether there's a DVD released, it's whether there's a Blu-ray released. And Orville you can't find on Blu-ray. Like, my dad wanted to pick it up because he's streamed the whole fucking thing. He's got all of them on a hard drive, but he wants the physical copy. You can't find it on Blu-ray. Like season 2, season 1, and the same thing happened with Fox's. Is it Fox? Yeah, Fargo. Fargo season 1 and 2 did excellently. Then the third one kind of fucked up. They decided to completely miss the Blu-ray launch, went only to DVD. So I mean, I don't know if Orville's gonna, whether it's popular enough to warrant it, or whether I mean, has Orville season 2 actually finished completely now?
Yeah, it's
I've
done.
not kept up with that. Okay.
I think it'll get renewed. In fact, there was some I saw where somebody had said like some streaming service was advertising that season 3, some streaming service that Disney owns where they're moving all the Fox things, was advertising season 3 of Orville. Which I hope means that they're not going to just dump it on some streaming service. That would fucking suck. But yeah, I think it's going to get renewed. I mean, Seth has a lot of fucking pull at Fox. So, while again, he's not fond of his new Disney masters. I still think it's going to get renewed. I think they're just fucking around with him.
Well, mind you, I know Tarantino's given it. Well, if you want Star Trek news, Tarantino's updated his project that he is brainchilded for his Star Trek film, so we may actually get to see Samuel Jackson skullfuck a Vulcan, but
The Orville's really good though. It's probably the only thing on TV I watch right now.
Yeah, I mean, if you're a Game of Thrones fan, I can only laugh at you because season 8 seems to be complete shit.
Yeah, I never got into Game of Thrones. Game of Thrones to me just looks like a fucking porn parody of Lord of the Rings.
Yeah, hands up in chat, who wasted your time with that show?
I have a buddy that's really into it, but that's because he's into just basically any kind of fantasy type shit like that. I mean, so
Well, I mean, a lot of those, I know. I mean, I was surprised to hear that Game of Thrones because, again, I've never watched the show. It's technically the most popular television show, not just broadcasting at the moment, but possibly at this just imperial. Like, aside from maybe, well, that's the thing. I mean, I had a thought the other day where I don't know if you're familiar with. Do you know Rob Ager or Creative Learning?
No.
Well, he does a lot of the YouTube sort of like film analysis, like he does 2001 and sort of like The Shining. A lot of Kubrick films, does The Thing. He put, and you probably agree with this, that most pre-millennial films basically are like post-millennial films are complete shit. Overall, when it comes to anything past 2000, it's either too much CGI, it's completely politicized, and it's just nowhere near as good as anything in the 80s or the 90s or even the 70s.
For the most part, yeah. I mean, there's exceptions to that, but yeah, for the most part.
Oh yeah, of course. But I'm being honest, I don't think pre-millennial TV is even close as good as anything post-millennial. Like, I understand you've got Star Trek, and I do have a soft spot for X-Files, but when you look at the quality of stuff we've got post-2000, like Sopranos, I mean, I've just picked up Deadwood on Blu-ray. I'm being honest, like, as much as I think
once cable reached a point where cable channels had decent budgets, then yeah, they started blowing network TV out of the water by and large.
Well, not just network or cable, it seems to me as soon as you hit that sort of Sopranos period, television just seemed to go from 25 episodes of like as much as I do like Star Trek, it's basically 25 episodes of filler with maybe an episode at the start and the beginning of. I mean, I know Deep Space Nine would be kind of an exception when you get to Dominion, but it seems so fillerish when you look at pre-millennial stuff. But when you get into things like Breaking Bad, it honestly feels like it's a substantial story, and it's kind of weird because you can compare it to films that are post-millennial. It feels like everything has to be either a remake or a sequel of original content prior to the 2000s. And I know I completely disagree. I mean, I know there's exceptions, as you say, but it seems kind of weird how films have kind of gone shit after 2000 overall, but television has done the complete opposite.
Well, they went to a point where it was much more, I don't know, what do you call it, serial or episodic or whatever, where it was much more, I always get those two terms mixed up, but much more, one episode built on the other kind of thing. It wasn't, it wasn't something you could watch out of order, as it were.
Yeah. Well, mate, look at, I don't know if you heard Supernatural. I mean, I used to watch that when it came out, must have been, 14 years ago. That's finally coming to a close. I mean, I didn't even know it was still fucking airing, but apparently after 15 years of complete drivel, it's finally ending. And that was from the old sort of style of, it's essentially X-Files and Star Trek, having standalone episodes and then kind of having an arc somewhere in the midst of all this madness. That sort of style television kind of went out after sort of Sopranos and Deadwood told you could actually do good television.
Yeah, and for a while, TV shows were so obsessed with everything has to be a jumping on point. You have to be able to start at any episode, and once you read, I think of what really made TV move to a better place was once TV shows on DVD became a thing. That's when, that's probably when they felt like they could just, do a continuous building upon itself story.
Yeah, I'd agree with that, because I mean, I'm assuming Orville is still following the typical Star Trek trend of there's an overall arc, but the episode by episode, it's still got. You could watch any Orville episode in any order. You could watch the 8th episode.
Quite.
So is there still like an arc?
Season 1, that was much more true of. By season 2, things definitely build on each other.
Oh, I see.
Season 2, I mean, each episode is a standalone story, as it were, but there's a lot more, we're doing this because 3 episodes ago we did this. You know what I mean? Kind of thing. Like, there's definitely a lot more building on itself. There's definitely a lot more referencing, like, what happened a couple episodes ago. It still matters. There's not like, we reset to the status quo at the end of the episode and we move on kind of shit. Like, it never happened.
But at least they explain why they're doing it.
Yeah, like, one thing really leads to another in it. Like, we're now discussing peace with the Krill because the Kalon have become this big threat, kind of thing. Like, it definitely like builds on itself.
Yeah, it's more solid. It's not like, I think someone described it. It's almost like, and not to I was going to say not to shut. No, I don't mind shitting on anime fans. If you watch any anime or manga, and it's like there's like 30 episodes a season, and it's basically filler for most of it, and then there's kind of an arc somewhere. I mean, if how you're saying Orville is kind of correct, it's if you want to ideally do a show, it should be something to how you've described, or even I think Battlestar Galactica did it relatively well. You build on it as it goes, but you can still watch an episode on its own and not feel like you're missing out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I think Orville has a good balance of that.
Well, one thing I was actually going to ask, because I don't know if you covered it, because I missed some of this stream. Sargon jumping onto a sinking ship. I don't know if any of you guys covered.
Yeah, we were talking about that a little bit. He, well, I like the fact that every time he's like, the media tries to like get him on something, he just goes off on a rant about what shitheads the media is. That said, though, yeah, I mean, UKIP's kind of dying. He's probably not going to win, but it's still kind of a cool stunt.
Well, I'll give him one thing, which I know a few people did post on Twitter thinking he was the reason UKIP fell. No, UKIP fell as soon as Farage left. I find it funny, and this is something I was mentioning to someone else a while back. If Sargon wanted to be serious about joining this political stuff, he wouldn't be arguing with a guy called Mr. America on the internet for about 2 or 3 months and then calling people white niggers.
Exactly.
And then expecting, like, I think I mentioned this to you, NZ, a while back, but the internet is probably the greatest tool to make someone unelectable. It's like, if someone went to record me saying white niggers, I don't think I'm going to be prime minister anytime. Sargon must have understood that.
There's no way I'd ever get elected.
Oh yeah, I couldn't be elected to dog
voice acting channel, and she speaks in an anime voice. That's all they need. They don't even need anything else. She speaks in a weird autistic anime voice. She's unelectable.
She sounds like one of those Pokemons.
She's one of those Pokemon.
She can sound like Pikachu. No way she's getting elected. Oh God. And for Sargon to think, and didn't Medicare bring that up to him? Like, hey, are you gonna run for politics? That was kind of brought up.
Well, there's two ways.
That was when Sargon thought he was starting a whole political party.
That was not a fucking political party.
It's the liberalist party. Okay, they're fighting for a white ethno state in Trapthorn.
Fucking website. That was nothing.
They're launching the Trapno state.
They may as well have launched a fucking Discord fucking channel and claimed it was going to be a political party. But there's 2 things I'd put to that. I think it's still possible for Sargon to get anywhere as long as he can carry himself in a way where he doesn't apologize. But the second point I would say, because remember, at the end of the day, one of Trump's biggest hardships wasn't facing against Hillary. It wasn't dealing with like big political solutions. It was him saying he grabbed the chick by the pussy. It's always going to be recorded stuff that you say, and and the ultimate thing is, okay, do you back down or do you actually keep pushing forward? And I know Count Dankula wasn't he also trying to run for UKIP or like trying to join that stuff? This guy, he wasn't getting busy trying to argue with Americans online about how shit the UK is, and he wasn't trying to do all this stuff. He just did it. I would actually be more surprised to see how Count Dankula has probably succeeded far more than Sargon.
Well, I mean, that's not a high bar.
Does he fit a suit? Fits a suit? Okay, good.
The Applebee's waiter coming to save the West. Well, the biggest thing that did Sargon in was it's a common theme I've seen here in the last few. It's ego. I'm going to start. He wasn't. Again, I know things are a little different here in the States, but if I was going to truly get involved in politically, I'd join the Republican Party officially. I'd get involved at the local Republican Party. I wouldn't just waltz in like, I'm just going to start my own party, or I'm just like, it's just all this ego shit where you have to wonder, like, what was Sargon really trying to do there? Was he trying to actually make some sort of political change, or was he trying to start the, let's all kiss Sargon's ass club? Was he fart huffing, or was he actually trying to be an activist? Because for a very long, it seems a little bit less like fart huffing now, but for a very long time, it looked like a whole bunch of fart huffing.
Oh, it was, though. He was like bragging to America, oh, I'm part of transatlantic politics, mate.
Exactly. You know, I mean, he met up with all these leaders, and the first thing he does is run to the internet to tell Daddy Medicare, "Look at what I did. I wore a big boy suit."
The thing is, that only works if you succeed. Like, if he actually got elected and became prime minister, then maybe he can, like, tell Medica to fuck off. But he's joined a party as it's sinking ship because.
Yeah, but why is that the first thing he thinks to do? Even if he had succeeded right there, why is that the first thing on his mind? Is I sure showed Jim. Somebody's got a boy crush, doesn't he?
Yeah. He's still sad. I mean, as much as I do miss the old Internet Aristocrat streams, I know Sargon and Milo did like Jim a lot, so maybe he's kind of reminiscing about those days when Jim didn't used to shit talk him all the time.
Well, I mean, I know what it's like to you know, to start shit talking someone you used to associate with who became a big pile of cringe. So
I have it. He should just join Labor and then kill that party too.
kill
Why
all
not?
the parties.
Why not?
You know what?
I mean,
You know what would save his country if he became a Muslim and killed Islam.
Was he like the virus from Independence Day? You just insert him anywhere and it just fucking destroys that.
It's just Islam comes to a screeching halt because Sargon starts praising Allah.
On my planet, when a program is not functioning properly, it is deleted.
That's always an option.
If you wish, I will vaporize them.
No, I...
Oh. Sargon saving the West with the Liberalist Party.
One inappropriate comment at a time.
You know what he should do? The Liberalist Party should join forces with the Free Folk. It could be a two-prong attack to save the West. Oh. See, this is coming at it from the theological and political ends of things.
Well, there you're mixing your atheists with your pagans. I don't know what you're expecting from that.
Odin will help the UK leave the European Union.
Painting bananas blue.
Painting bananas blue. There you go. The great atheist pagan alliance to save the West.
And James, what is this video you sent me?
Well, don't just play it, but I mean,
yeah, that's not the first video I've sent you, which you should play.
Yeah,
That's from Four Lions. That's from Four Lions. You know what Four Lions is?
What is Four Lions? I don't know what that is.
Four Lions is a dark comedy about a terrorist cell trying to commit a terrorist attack.
Okay.
And here's them driving off somewhere. Let me see if I can get this going. Well, I won't play the video. I'll just listen to the audio.
Dancing in the moonlight,
Oh, that's probably enough to get me copyright struck right there.
Let's see
Yeah,
what
look, you played the worst part.
Oh no! It cuts to the truck attack. They're driving in a truck, and then it cuts to the Paris truck attack.
You know, look, you've completely derailed the stream.
You know what I wanted to watch? This is somebody else's video, but we got to watch it because it was just fucking hilarious. At least part of it. Let me scroll through my my history here and find it.
Here we go. This is appropriate for that.
Well, Luke, I was going to ask.
Driving down the road in a truck of peas on the Disney highway. Driving down the road in a truck of peas. Who do you think we'll bump into today?
Oh man, I disavow.
No, Luke, did you actually watch Four Lions by any chance?
I did.
Ah, good. What did you think?
It's very funny, and then the ending happens, and you're like, "What? Oh, that's what we're building up to."
So here we go. Here's a little
Spoil
video
the
you
end.
can watch.
It's a bit explosive.
And if you start watching this, go ahead and like show who the channels, the name of the channel and all that stuff. Like this, somebody put this together, so we should actually, give them a. Y'all should go give this video a like and all that good stuff.
Let's see what this is.
We're gonna discuss the plague that is smelly melee players.
Oh dear.
Mind you, I do like that picture of Varg with Sonic.
He said they're off to save the West. That's where Sonic is like, basically, I'm gonna have to save the West.
Yeah. If the Muslims aren't going to do it fast enough, us pagans will.
Varg thinks he's sent by Odin, so that's why.
So what are we looking at here now?
We're gonna watch this video. Smelly smash. Get the channel name in there.
Let's see. Glint.
Yeah, check this guy's channel out, folks.
All right,
go ahead.
To any means, but all I can do is associate my experience with facts. Whenever you walk down certain hallways around the Nintendo booth, there were smells that I could not associate with any other part of the show. And it came to the point where me, Simmons, and Jessica would avoid that place entirely, and we would go all the way around.
There were some smells, yeah.
And it was
the competitive
I'm sure
standby line people. Woo!
Excuse me, sir. I hope my horrible
smelliness
won't be a distraction to you.
Not at all, boy!
Poor hygiene and Smash players. These two things seem to go hand in hand within the Smash Brothers community. Whether it's players who reek of the most horrific scents, entire venues that should be quarantined for their toxic odors, or just sickening stories of the bizarre and gross acts done by players. There's
That was real?
Yes.
There's been a stigma circulating around about smelly Smash players and how commonplace they are. I'm going to be breaking down many of the most repulsive instances involving these unwashed Smash players, ranging from big events and star players to specific stories told by members of the community themselves. And before I continue, I just want to say I'm a fan of the Smash community. I'm in many ways in it. I'm friends with many players. Don't take what I'm saying too personally. But seriously, some of you need to take a shower. First, let me set the scene for how Smash tournaments generally work. On the smallest level, there's usually a local scene in most major cities or regions. The next level above that are large tournaments, specifically held for Smash, like Apex and Genesis. And above that, you have large international events that host a variety of games, including Smash Brothers. These are events like DreamHack, Gamescom, and EVO. All of these events are attended by serious competitors, casuals, and spectators alike. In dissecting the disgusting plague of foul odors within the community, let's start with some of the major events and the stories that have come out of those. Rubber Ninja of Game Grumps made a comment on r/gaming talking about his experience. When I was visiting America, I got dragged along to one of the big Smash Brothers tournaments being held in Northern California. Oh my god, everyone there smelled so bad. Every day they rocked up to the tournament in the same clothes. In fact, the entire room just stank like hell. Going out to stand by the people smoking was like getting fresh air in comparison. Another tale from
can I ask, is this like a genocide for fucking people with BO? Because we had the Yu-Gi-Oh tournaments banning them, now it's
I was
Smash.
just gonna
Who's
say,
that?
like, it's not just Smash. It's the whole competitive gaming scene in general has this fucking problem. All right, and I'm not just video games, gaming in the broad sense. The fucking tabletop guys got this problem. The various card games got this problem. All right, my local comic book store tends to, every once in a while they do a Magic the Gathering tournament in the upstairs area on Sundays, and I wandered up there one time and holy shit,
You could taste them, right?
Yeah, it was awful. I mean, it wasn't quite Amish man bad, but it was getting up in that tier. All right,
It kind of hits you.
it does. It's like a
Way to
wall.
there.
And because this is a tiny enclosed upstairs area too, so you can imagine it hits you like a wall. It hits you like a really hot summer day when you go from being in an air conditioned house to walk outside in the heat, and it just like smacks you in the fucking face.
Take much to shower.
Reddit comes from a post titled, I'm at my first tournament. Why don't people shower? I was standing next to a guy who smells like a rancid piece of ham. Edit. Faced a little girl.
A rancid. That's very specific. That's a very specific description.
It's the edit as well. Faced a little girl. Kill you for winning.
He should be sorry that little girl had to face him at some point.
It's the biggest non sequitur. It's like, yeah, someone smelled like shit, and I beat a child to death.
Somebody in the chat says, Joker players smell like the gay. Yes, indeed, I imagine they do. Bathing the gathering. First prize should be a bar of soap and a toothbrush.
The situation is so bad that there have even been attempts to create hygiene guides and instructions for players who apparently don't.
Somebody in the chat says, take what this guy says and apply them to anime and game and comic conventions, and you get a general idea of what geek culture is. I will say this. I have very, very rarely encountered that kind of thing at a Comic Con. Not very, very rarely. Much more rarely than the handful of times I've gone to gaming cons and wandered into the competitive gaming area. That said, though, I have encountered some of that at fucking Comic Cons, and holy shit, dude. I remember one time, first Comic Con I ever went to, my buddy and I, we found this back issue bin. This guy just had gold, and he was selling it dirt cheap. He was obviously liquidating a lot of excess inventory, and he had a ton of stuff we were both specifically looking for. And we're digging through, and we're like, oh, this back issue bin is perfect. We fucking struck a vein of gold right here. And this 300-pound motherfucker looked like Boogie just before like as fat as Boogie was right before he couldn't walk anymore and had to do the scooter. And this guy just walked past us, behind us, and just the fucking wave of stench that just hung in the air after he wandered by. We had to stop looking. We had to be like, all right, we're going to have to come back to this later. It's fucking horrendous. All right, keep going.
Don't know the basics of self-care, like this Reddit post giving out hygiene tips, and this tweet from Melee player Tafo where he says, going to be writing a Summer of Smash mini guide for all of you that are interested in traveling. Hashtag deodorant. Venues used for Smash have become notorious for their foul smell. One tournament organizer from Tallahassee, Florida, issued this statement to attendees at his local scene. At the price of losing a bi-weekly tournament, we cannot afford to have the place smelling terribly as it has been, being labeled by some to be Stinky Day when tournament day comes around. You know those Florida players are going to have a special kind of musky scent to them with all that Florida swamp ass. Some tournament organizers have even taken matters into their own hands, like this guy from NorCal who made a post on Smashboard stating, I'm implementing a professional rule, which states, in short, I have the right to DQ you if it's clear that you are not keeping up with your hygiene. I suggest other tournament organizers do the same. And immediately, the original poster was met with criticism. Yup, big you to people who can't afford everyday showers.
People who can't afford everyday showers, yet they can afford a new copy of Super Smash Brothers and a Nintendo console to play it on.
How much does a shower cost?
Yeah, how much in the water bill is the shower costing you?
I mean,
fractions of a penny.
I mean, no offense, you guys are Americans, so I'm assuming these guys have to travel like a few miles. That the petrol money there and back, and
yeah, dude, if you can't afford a shower, that means you're like homeless. Okay, it doesn't mean you're playing in a professional fucking video game tournament.
The major Smash Brothers events, Big House 4, actually added in their official rules that entrants must take a shower. Our event security includes a bouncer at the door who won't hesitate to refuse entry to anyone who has a personal hygiene issue. This isn't a joke. And finally,
it's a smellometer.
That's funny.
A friend of mine and Smash player, Bear, shared with me his personal story of putrid smells at one of these events.
Yeah, so a couple months ago, I went to an event called DreamHack Atlanta. It was a really, really big convention center. And eventually, I made my way over to the Smash area because I really like to watch Melee. Well, inside the event, they were cooking like hot dogs and burgers. It was pretty smoky in a lot of areas. So eventually, I started walking up to Smash, and the smoke was immediately being replaced by this new, just rancid smell. And it was very just disgusting, and like it's indescribable how bad it really smelled. And it was just so disgusting, and I eventually just left and never went back to that corner. But I was just amazed by how bad one section can smell just by the Smash community.
Going deeper than these
somebody says in the chat, This is discrimination against Indians. I disavow that comment.
Well, the thing is, this smell, I'm assuming, is consistent with Smash Tawny, so I don't know why these guys are complaining. There's no randomness to all of these people smelling like shit, so if they can't tolerate item drops, they should be able to tolerate everyone smelling like shit.
Look, honestly, I mean, yeah, it's the Smash tournaments, but like I said, it's also the fucking competitive gaming scene as a whole. It really is. I mean, the Smash is just the worst. It's the tip of the shitberg. But yeah, you're not going to tell me that Evo in general doesn't smell like ass. You know, it might be a lower percentage in the non-Smash corners of Evo, but the whole place, I'm sure, smells like fucking feet and balls. Keep going.
General events, these next stories and incidents come from specific cases involving individual players. Smash Ultimate seems to have brought upon a new breed of gross gamers. At an event hosted by Collegiate Star League, a K-Rule main of all things, way to give us a bad name, was seen drinking some unidentified fluid directly out of an Elmer's glue bottle. But sometimes things go even beyond the lack of personal hygiene. In some instances, there are players who lack basic potty training.
You're gonna have to back that up.
Luke,
no pun
back up,
intended.
Luke.
Back
Back up even more.
But no, before we even cut into this, we got to talk about the guy who's drinking something out of a Elmer's glue bottle. What?
I think he was just taking the piss, though. That guy was pretty funny.
I don't know. Maybe that was some sort of Andy Kaufman-like act, but I don't know. It's so hard. It's so hard to tell.
Maybe he was waiting for a guy called G-Link to make a video on Smash players being smelly. We don't know.
Okay, but let's keep going. We gotta hear about the guy that can't fucking.
Was seen drinking some unidentified fluid directly out of an Elmer's glue bottle. But sometimes things go even beyond the lack of personal hygiene. In some instances, there are players who lack basic potty training. A Smasher actually shit their pants mid-set at the monthly last night, in utter disbelief. Excuse me?
Wait, go through. Wait, pause it. I gotta read it.
Smasher actually.
Yeah, played through it, won the set, laugh afterwards. I didn't go, but everyone said the venue reeked like shit all night. He just kept playing? Oh my god.
There's a recurring image used by Razorfist about a guy in a race, but he goes in midway during the race, but he keeps running.
Oh, jeez. Oh, that's. Keep going.
Shit their pants mid-set at the monthly last night, in utter disbelief. Excuse me? What the f***? Did they keep playing through it? Yeah, played through it, won the set, left after. I didn't go, but everyone said that the venue reeked like shit.
Well, of course he won the
situation
set.
had gotten
Imagine trying to fucking play when all of a sudden there's a big old waft of shit in your fucking face. Maybe that was his strategy. Distract the other player.
Point where even the upper echelon of the Smash community, the pro players, the community organizers, even they are unable to ignore.
Oh, advertisement.
Oh, jeez. Hopefully it's an advertisement.
Save us,
for
Fog.
deodorant.
It's an advertisement for a deodorant, actually.
That's perfect. That's fucking perfect.
All
That's some
day
good ad.
and reduce chafing, then you need to get yourself the crop preserver.
All right, skip.
The 24-hour non-powder.
That's fantastic.
Okay, here we go.
Somebody in the chat says it's not enough to get into an opponent's mind. You must get into his nostrils.
And incidentally, out of deodorant, these players apparently are. Evo champion and prominent Melee player Leffen even had some concerns about the lack of deodorant in Smash tournaments. Damn, this anime con / Smash tournament is in desperate need of a deodorant sponsor, haha. Interestingly, there even seems to be some debate within the Smash community regarding how much people should be expected to shower. Pro Smasher Anti tweeted out that showering every other day isn't normal. Instead, people should do it every single day. But Super Smash Shirts challenged this claim, stating that actually showering every day is bad for you. Somehow.
Okay, pause. I'm informed. I didn't catch this, but people were telling me that apparently for a while Roosh was arguing you shouldn't wash your hair more than like once a week or something. Because I guess shampoo is a Jewish plot. I don't know what he was getting into there, but
Well, there's two things to it. I've heard you shouldn't overly use shampoo because, again, with hair it can dry out and you could wash stuff out. But showering aside, how much is like in America? How much is like a can of Axe body spray? Just something that doesn't smell like shit.
I don't know. It's fucking the T-shirt company's like showering every day is not good for you. What the fuck is wrong with people? Keep going.
Frankly, this makes me call into question the cleanliness of the shirts they are selling. But even if players manage to shower, it's not always enough. Smash commentator Kataro points out how smelly clothes and, once again, the lack of deodorant still causes foul odors. Streamer Dominic B tweeted, "For Smash Bros. Melee Evo Finals, they should just have a judge smell the top player to see who actually took a shower and wore deodorant. Please, pack deodorant! Yo niggas learn every fucking true combo except one of the most important ones. Soap combo
directly into water.
Two stock your odor. Yo is sitting here worrying about character tiers when your hygiene is bottom tier. Clean yourself. Wash your nuts. Deodorant.
Jeez.
He's not wrong though.
No, he's not. Keep going.
Anyone else sensing a theme here?
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought,
that
dude?
Smashers, dude. We're having way too much fun right now.
I reached out to former Melee streamer and semi-pro player Coffee Black, who shared with me his haunting experience at a local Smash tournament.
And the worst story I have of a smelly smasher is from a weekly a few years ago. So I was the first one there, and it was in a basement of a bar, which was a pretty big room. As people started to come in, I noticed that it started to really fucking smell in that place. And everybody that I was chilling with that was coming in also was like, man, what's the fucking smell? It smells like fish. And so at first, I didn't even think it was coming off a person because that place used to leave the food on the counter. So like if I ordered fish and chips, they would leave it at the bar until I went to go get it. Let's say I was playing a tournament match, I can't get it right away. So I figured like there's fish lying around or it's in the garbage or something rotting overnight, but it was so strong that I had to look around. And when I looked around, my other friend was looking with me and he actually made a lap around the room and found the source from a person. And by this point in the tournament,
a single person,
people are complaining.
A single person was the one doing
I love the editing on this video.
This video is great. Go give this guy a like and a follow, folks. Or a like and a subscribe, whatever.
Follow his Instagram.
There you go. Yeah, follow. Go.
And click that bell to get notifications.
Yeah, click the bell. All that other good shit. Like, what's up, YouTube? Like, comment, subscribe to this other guy's channel.
That it fucking smells. People are not going to that side of the room to play friendlies. People are not happy. And even the staff is complaining that it smells to the TO. And so the TO takes the guy aside who we pinpointed and pulls him and says, like, you know, you have to take a shower, you have to leave, people are complaining. And the kid looks super embarrassed. And
I see what you did there.
Oh, geez, Sonic the Rat Hog over there.
it was the TO handled it well, but it was pretty sad, you know, because this guy came with a bunch of friends and like it's like no one's ever told him that he smells this bad, that I can smell it from across a big room.
Looking deeper into this, perhaps the reason Smash
can you
players
pause this?
have
They're not friends if they don't tell you smell like shit.
Yeah, no shit.
A good friend will tell you that. A good friend's a lot like a bully. They tell you honest stuff.
a reputation for being so foul is that, just like their gameplay, they're simply following in the footsteps of some of the greatest and most idolized players to ever touch the game.
The massive unit you see in front of you is Mango, working his way to the top of most tournaments and rivaling the best to ever play. Mango dedicates himself to Smash, so much so that the moisture content in his hair rivals that of an Amazon rainforest. Speaking of nature, he is often seen in his wild habitat gorging on some sort of fat-filled, calorically dense feast, followed by a beer or four. However, according to an anonymous tip, Mango amazingly does not have any foul odor emanating from his body at tournaments. Therefore, Mango is merely known as the Beast, for his unkempt and messy menagerie of manliness. Gushing out of every pore of this man's face paints a picture of one of the most sweaty Smash players of all time. His name is Hacks, his game is Wax. Some Smash theorists believe the sheer amount of calories burned from the cognitive demands of spamming a bunch of stupid fucking buttons every match leads to the immense deluge of sweat that comes out of every pore.
Oh, that's great.
Therefore, Hacks is known as the Geyser. Picture a local Smash tournament. Now picture it filled with naked Instagram models all crowding around one player. That player is Mewtwo King. Known for regularly having obscene sex at Smash tournaments, even while playing, Mewtwo King does not give a what anyone around him thinks or how gross it can be to see this level of intercourse. Nobody wants to hear the loud moans and smell of all that sweat in the air. For this reason, he is known as Mewtwo King. Loves to
Morning. Oh man, fucking ads at the ass on this video.
What's this one about? Oh, trim responsibly with Manscaped.
Somebody says, we must secure the future for basic hygiene. Oh lordy. I just love Sonic and Varg there. That's just fucking fantastic.
All right, here we go.
It's hard to say exactly why Smash players smell so bad. Perhaps the focus required to play the game creates a sweaty situation. Maybe Smash fans love the game so much that they don't have time to focus on their personal hygiene, instead solely dedicating their lives to their craft. But one thing I have learned in life is that you can either be a sweaty Smash player or a person who knows how to use a stick of deodorant. It's $1. Come on! Any store! Editor's note. In lieu of recent events during Pound 2019, my deepest condolences go out to Hungrybox, who was viciously attacked by a lifeless crab thrown onto the stage by an attendee. A deeper question arises here that I'd like to pose to you, the viewer. How is it, you think, that this large, dead crab was hanging in a man's pocket, presumably for hours in preparation for this targeted harassment, and yet the salty stench of this dead crab was able to go undetected? How is it that such a pungent smell was able to be masked so well? One might even go as far as to say the poor hygiene within the Smash community was a major factor in allowing this perpetrator to get away with the crab incident. Yes, I did it! I'm the best Smash player in the world!
Something to be proud of.
Who threw this at me?
Giant enemy crab. Giant enemy crab. Attack its weak point for massive damage. Giant crab. Enemy crab. Giant crab. Enemy crab.
Like Saga on roids.
For massive damage.
NC Clark had to hop out. Thanks for being on, NC. So yeah, somebody apparently had a dead crab in their fucking pocket. Nobody could notice at a Smash tournament.
Wait,
there
what?
you go.
Wait, why did they have a dead?
Because they wanted
Was
to
this in
throw it at
Florida?
this guy. They wanted to throw it at this guy, I guess, because they didn't like him. I don't fucking know. I don't like him either because he's a professional Smash player.
In all fairness, though, Jonathan Frakes used to have half-eaten pork chops in his suits on the set of TNG, so maybe he just followed.
What? What?
Oh, that's some of the stories I've heard.
Jeez. Oh, jeez. What is wrong with... What is wrong with the fucking... The whole pro video game scene in general? Just a fucking sad joke.
Most of the nerd culture is a bit... I mean, I used to do cons when I was much younger and when they were much more accessible in England, but I mean, I'd have to go to some of them now. They're all just anime fans, which, to be honest, I mean, regardless of smell, I don't want to be around those types, but when I used to actually go to some of the cons, they were actually based in malls, so that's well ventilated. It's not in someone's basement. So even if there was a smell, that stuff gets sucked up.
I don't know. Like I said, I never found it all that bad. There were one or two guys here and there at the comic cons and shit like that, but it wasn't until I wandered into, like, you know, the areas. Even at comic cons, you wander over to where everyone's doing the Magic the Gathering and shit like that. That's where it's gonna fucking stink. There's something about the, I don't know, the pros, quote unquote. So he says deodorant for next Smash fighter. Yeah, no shit. All right. Well, I think we're going to probably wrap this up because we've gone on for about an hour.
You completely lose any kind of
respect.
Yes, that as well. I was going to say human contact, but I think respect is probably more potent.
Rabin, when you and I were in Seattle, did you ever go like the Penny Arcade Expo or anything?
Oh, hell no.
Yeah, me neither.
I was actually invited one time, and it's like, wait a second. The friend that invited me, he's a great guy. He invited me to go to PAX one time, and I'm like, no thanks, dude. You can go.
Yeah, it's very
going to these conventions, so you get moments you're not going to forget. I mean, I went.
Jeez. All right, we're going to go ahead and wrap this up. Folks, if you enjoy the content, do consider supporting the show, you know, by helping me defend Laura Loomer's tire. You can send a PayPal, Patreon, and Amazon wishlist. That's all ways you can support the show. And, yeah, that's about all we got for this week. I want to thank you all for listening. And Bechtloff out.